Hello everybody, this is Niclas Huschenbeth, and today I would like to show you how world champion Magnus Carlsen missed a checkmate in 3 moves. How could this happen? Let's find out together. And the game I'm talking about is the game Magnus Carlsen against Anish Giri from the Tata Steel Masters in Wijk 2017. Before we enter a position, let me share with you the comment of the day, and this comment is by Yoni Karen, and he says, "Thanks for sharing such a beautiful game, especially with your comments. Amazing variations." Thank you, Yoni, for your comment. Appreciate it. Now let's get to the game. This is the position in the board after 49 moves, and Carlsen has worked his typical magic out of an equal endgame. He has achieved a superior, well, in this case, actually at this point, winning position, and now he goes about converting it. So what? Well, there's not that much material left, right? But the material that is left is in White's favor. He's very active. He has the bishop against the knight here, which is good. The bishop is better in open positions, and the knight is lacking any kind of good outposts here. You can see the knight is also passive, defending the pawn on e5. And most importantly, I guess, is that this pawn is on h5. If the pawn was on h6, position would be not that clear. But the pawn is on h5 and it's about to drop. And then White will have 2 connected passed pawns here, and supported by bishop and rooks, which are very active. White is winning. So Giri goes for his last chance, practical chance, and he pushes his passed pawn forward. He goes e4. e3, rook h7 check, king e8, and actually White just picks up the rook here, right? But, well, the black pawn made it all the way to e2 and cannot be stopped from queening right now. Of course, both players calculated this, and Carlsen recognized, rightly so, that he's winning here after bishop f3, e1 queen, bishop h5 check, king f8, rook f5 check, king g8, and now this is the critical moment, and here Carlsen misses the direct win. So what did he miss here? Can you figure out how he could pretty much checkmate in 3 moves here? If so, stop the video and try to find it. All right, not too hard, right? I mean, if you know it, of course, it's always easier than if you don't know it, as it is the case when you play the game over the board. So Carlsen went bishop f7. This is still winning, but it becomes extremely tricky then. And here was a very simple win, was to go rook c8 check. Actually avoid the checkmate in 3 here if you place rook e8, but there's really no point, as White will just pick up the queen and he's a rook up. So this doesn't make any sense. So the only try would be to go king g7 or king h7, doesn't matter. And now White just goes rook f7 check. King has to go to h6, it's the only square. And now White delivers checkmate with rook h8. And indeed, both players missed this during the game. Also, Anish Giri didn't see it. Not sure what's responsible for this blind spot. Maybe Carlsen didn't want to allow the king to move from the 8th rank, or maybe he thought that bishop f7 was just winning and he didn't look for any alternatives. So this is a lesson for you guys when you're playing your own games. One of my favorite quotes by Manuel Lasker is, when you see a good move, look for a better one. Always keep your mind open and always look for all your candidate moves in the positions. And candidate moves are especially moves that give check or take something or threaten something. And here, if Carlsen had checked all the candidate moves, I'm sure he would have also looked at rook c8 check and then found it subsequently. So let's see what happened in the game. Bishop f7 check, king h8, and now rook h5 check. And White picks up the rook with check, but his pieces are not that well organized right now. Black has a queen and is also threatening to give perpetual check, and here Carlsen made a mistake, after which the position becomes a draw. He played rook to h6 check. So let me show you how white can still win in this position. Go bishop c4, already not an easy move to make, covering the e2 square, so black cannot pick up the rook. Now knight e5, and here it gets very tricky. White has to find a series of only moves. Rook h6 check, king f5, and now this is a very beautiful move. Actually, let's make this a question for you guys, for you ambitious guys out there. Try to find this one here and take your time, because this is not easy. So stop the video once again right now if you want to and figure it out. Alright, when you're ready, I'm ready. Okay, bishop d3 check, very nice move. Bishop d3 check was the winning way. Why does this work? Well, black has two moves, knight takes d3 or king g4. So let's begin with king g4. Now rook to g7 check, king has to step forward. Rook f6 check, king has to go to e3, only square, and white goes bishop to f1. And if white can stabilize here, put the bishop on g2, it's just all over with the two rooks and the white king being safe. So black would need to try knight f3 check, which looks strong at first, right? But white can play takes, and now bishop g2 check, forcing the king on the e-file. After king f2, white gives one more check, and now the king is on the e-file, and now white is ready to pick up the queen on e1, and then of course he just wins with his pawns. So this is king g4. Now let's see what happens after knight takes d3. Now white goes rook f7 check. Black pretty much has two choices, king e4, king g4. If king g4, then rook g7 check, king f5, rook g5 check, and once again the king is forced on the e-file when white wins the black queen with the skewer. And in this position, if king e4, then again rook e6 check. Now it looks like black is stopping white from winning the queen. He puts the knight in between, but now there's the last nice little tactic, rook takes, and now the second rook once again picks up the queen and white wins. And this is of course pretty difficult to see, especially if you're considering that at this point probably both players didn't have that much time left, and yeah, the checkmate in 3 would have been an easier way to win. So Carlsen played rook h6 check, but after king e5 he couldn't hold on to his extra material. He had to give up the rook against the knight on c6, and this position is a draw. They played on for another 60 moves. Carlsen tried all he could, but in the end this was the final position. He had to accept the draw here. It is a stalemate. So this was the video, Carlsen missing the mate in 3. And the lesson, I think, for all of us to take from this is always check for all our moves, and even if we think one move is very good, we should still consider the alternatives. I hope you guys enjoyed the analysis. If you want to check out the full game, you'll find a link to the description. You'll find a link in the description to the full game if you want to play it through yourself. And then I'm looking forward to your comments. And if you are not subscribed to the channel yet, you can do so somewhere in the description or somewhere else on the end card in a few moments. So see you next time. Bye.